Dear students, we have already seen how the women of the village learned cycling and how they came up in life. In what way learning cycling had been a movement in their social life. Let's now proceed and see the gains of learning a bicycle. Next paragraph. Cycling has had very definite economic implications. It boosts income. Some of the women here sell agricultural or other produce within a group of villages. For them, the bicycle cuts down on time wasted in waiting for buses. This is crucial in poorly connected routes. Secondly, it gives you much more time to focus on selling your produce. Thirdly, it enlarges the area you can hope to cover. Lastly, it can increase your leisure time too, should you choose. ಓಕೆ, ಇನ್ನು ಯಾವ ಎಲ್ಲ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸೈಕ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಕಲಿಯುವುದು ಉಪಯುಕ್ತವಾಗ್ತದೆ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಅಲ್ಲ, ನಮಗೆ ಕೂಡ ಸೈಕ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಉಪಯೋಗಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ನೋಡುವ. ಸೈಕ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಡ್ ವೆರಿ ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ಸ್. ಇಲ್ಲಾದರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಗಾಡಿಗಳಿಗೆ ನಾವು ತುಂಬ ವ್ಯಯ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಪೆಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಹಾಕಬೇಕು, ಡೀಸೆಲ್ ಹಾಕಬೇಕು. ಆದರೆ ಈ ಸೈಕ್ಲಿಂಗಿಗೆ ಏನೂ ಹಾಕಬೇಕಂತ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇಫ್ ಯು ಬೈ ಒನ್ಸ್ ಇನಫ್ ಅನ್ಲೆಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಈಸ್ ಸಮ್ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಮೈನರ್ ರಿಪೇರಿ ವರ್ಕ್ ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಸ್ಪೆಂಡ್. ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್ ಸೈಕ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ಸ್. ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ಸ್. ಹಣಕಾಸಿನ ವಿಷಯಕ್ಕೆ ಬರುವಾಗ ನಮಗೆ ಸೈಕ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ತುಂಬ ಕಡಿಮೆ ವೆಚ್ಚದ ಒಂದು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಇಟ್ ಬೂಸ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್. ಸಮ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ವಿಮೆನ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರಲ್ ಆರ್ ಅದರ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ವಿದಿನ್ ಎ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಆಫ್ ವಿಲೇಜಸ್. ಅಂದರೆ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿ ನಿಮಗೀಗ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೃಷಿ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಆ ಕೃಷಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಆದ ಉತ್ಪನ್ನವನ್ನು ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಸೆಲ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕಾದರೆ ಯು ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಟೇಕ್ ರೈಟ್ ದೀಸ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್. ಇಫ್ ಅಟ್ ಆಲ್ ಯು ಹೈರ್ ಒನ್ ವೆಹಿಕಲ್ ಆರ್ ಯು ಗೋ ಬೈ ಬಸ್ ಯು ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಸ್ಪೆಂಡ್. ಬಟ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಟೇಕ್ ಇನ್ ಯೋರ್ ಓನ್ ಸೈಕಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ರಿಯಲಿ for you, income for you, extra income. You are not spending anything here. Okay, for them the bicycle cuts down on time wasted in waiting for buses. How much time do we spend in waiting for buses? Just imagine, ನಾವೇ ನೀವು ಕಾಲೇಜಿಗೆ ಬರುವಾಗ when you come to the college you need to wait for buses for a long time. It is everybody's story, not only yours. We need to wait, especially in villages. You may be having one bus in an hour or two, or one bus in 2 hours maybe. It's really a waste of time. But if you have a cycle, you can really save a lot of time. This is a crucial in poorly connected routes. Poorly connected route ಅಂದರೆ ವಿಲೇಜ್ ರೂಟ್ಸ್ಗಳು. ಅಂದರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಇಂಟೀರಿಯರ್ ಬಸ್ಸಸ್ ಬರಲ್ಲ. ಆ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಸೈಕಲ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ ತುಂಬ ಉಪಯೋಗ. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ಲಿ, ಇಟ್ ಗಿವ್ಸ್ ಯು ಮಚ್ ಮೋರ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಟು ಫೋಕಸ್ ಆನ್ ಸೆಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಯುವರ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್. Okay, in a sell, and I already told you, if at all you have some agriculture produce or any other small industry produces, if you are selling, you can take that to the marketplace. You can sell there. Even you can keep the things produce on your bicycle and sell. You need not have a shop for you. Thirdly, it enlarges the area you can hope to cover. You can cover more area. Okay, if you have a bicycle, you can go in the bicycle and sell your produces. You can go home to home also and sell your produces. Lastly, it can increase your leisure time too, should you choose. ಒಂದು ವೇಳೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಲೆಜರ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಬೇಕಾದರೆ, ಫ್ರೀ ಟೈಮ್ ಬೇಕಾದರೆ ಸೈಕ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡೋದರಿಂದ ನಿಮಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಫ್ರೀ ಟೈಮ್ ಸಿಗ್ತದೆ. Small producers who used to wait for buses were often dependent on fathers, brothers, husbands or sons to even reach the bus stop. They could cover only a limited number of villages to sell their produce. Some walked. Those who cannot afford bicycles still do. These women had to rush back early to tend to the children and perform other chores like fetching water. Those who have bicycles now combine these different tasks with nonchalance, which means you can, even along some remote road, see a young mother, child on the bar, produce on carrier. She could be carrying 2, perhaps even 3 pots of water hung across the back and cycling towards work or home. Let us also see now which are the minor uses of having a bicycle. Small producers who used to wait for buses were often dependent on fathers, brothers, husbands or sons to even reach the bus stop. Okay, bus stopಗೆ ಹೋಗಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹಳ್ಳಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ದೂರ ಇದೆ. Usually what do women do? They will wait for their fathers or brothers or husbands or sons to drop them to the bus stop. But now if you have a bicycle, you need not wait for them. They could cover only a limited number of villages to sell their produce. Some walked. ಬೈಸಿಕಲ್ ಇಲ್ಲದ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರು ಅಂದರೆ ಅವರಿಗೆ ದೇ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಕವರ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಪೋರ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ವಿಲೇಜ್, ಅಂದರೆ ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿನ್ನ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸನ್ನು ಸೆಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಿತ್ತು, ದೂರದ ಸ್ಥಳಗಳಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಗ್ತಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಸಮ್ ಹ್ಯಾಡ್ ಟು ವಾಕ್, ಇಫ್ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ ಬೈಸಿಕಲ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾಡ್ ಟು ವಾಕ್ ಫಾರ್ ಟು ಸೆಲ್ ದ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್. Those who have bicycles now combine these different tasks with non-challenge. Non-challenge means indifference. You can combine them all together. Okay, all the tasks you can put together. ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೆಲಸಗಳನ್ನು ಈಗ ಒಮ್ಮೆಲೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ನೀವು. ಓಕೆ, ಬೈಸಿಕಲ್ನ ಸಹಾಯದಿಂದ. ವಿಚ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಈವನ್ ಅಲಾಂಗ್ ಸಮ್ ರಿಮೋಟ್ ರೋಡ್ see a young mother, child on the bar, produce on the carrier. ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಸೈಕ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ ನೀನು ನಿನ್ನ ಮದರನ್ನು ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೋದು, ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಚೈಲ್ಡನ್ನು ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೋದು, ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ದ ಕೆರಿಯರ್, ನೀನು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ವಿಷಯಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ಸೈಕಲ್ ಇರೋದರಿಂದ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಶಿ ಕುಡ್ ಬಿ ಕ್ಯಾರಿಂಗ್ 2, perhaps even 3 pots of water hung across the back and cycling towards work or home. Okay, woman can do all this. Otherwise ನೀನು ಸೈಕಲ್ ಇಲ್ಲದ್ರೆ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಕ್ಯಾರಿ ಓನ್ಲಿ 1 pot, ಮೇಬಿ 2 pots. ಬಟ್ ಇಫ್ ನೌ ಯು ಆರ್ ಸೈಕಲ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ hang the pots around the bicycle. Even you can carry children along with you when you go to fetch water. So all these are the minor and major advantages of owning a bicycle. Yet it could be wrong, very wrong, to emphasize the economic aspect over all else. The sense of self-respect it brings is vital. Of course it's not economic, said Fatima, giving me a look that made me feel rather stupid. What money do I make from cycling? I lose money. I cannot afford a bicycle, but I hire one every evening just to feel that goodness, that independence. Never before reaching Padukottai had I seen this humble vehicle in that light, the bicycle as a metaphor for freedom. Okay, now we will not just focus into the economic aspect of bicycle. ನಾವು ಬೈಸಿಕಲ್ನ ಒಂದು ಹಣಕಾಸಿನ ವಿಚಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡೋದು ಮಾತ್ರ ಬೇಡ. ಬೈಸಿಕಲ್ ಇರುವುದರಿಂದ ಇನ್ನು ಅನೇಕ ಪ್ರಯೋಜನಗಳಿವೆ. ವಿಚ್ ಆರ್ ದೇ? The sense of self-respect is very vital. Woman who has a bicycle, she has self-respect. Okay, all will say, okay, she can proudly she can ride along, right? Okay, she can be really proud of having a bicycle, said Fatima. Of course it's not economic, said Fatima, giving me a look that made me feel rather stupid. What money do I make from cycling? I lose money. ಓಕೆ, ಈ ಸೈಕಲಿಂದ ಬರುವ ಹಣ ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ? ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ನಮಗೆ ಅದು ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಫಾತಿಮಾ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನಾಟ್ ಅಫೋರ್ಡ್ ಅ ಬೈಸಿಕಲ್, ಬಟ್ ಐ ಹೈರ್ ಒನ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ಈವ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಟು ಫೀಲ್ ದಟ್ ಗುಡ್ನೆಸ್, ದಟ್ ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆನ್ಸ್. ನಂತರ ಹಣ ಇಲ್ಲ ಬೈಸಿಕಲ್ ತರಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, ಆದರೂ ಕೂಡ ನಾನು ಅರ್ಧ ಗಂಟೆ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಆ ಬೈಸಿಕಲ್ನ ಬಾಡಿಗೆ ಕೊಂಡೋಗ್ತೇನೋ ಅದು ನನಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ತದೆ. ಹಣ is secondary, money is secondary, not so important as the self-respect that the bicycle gives. Never before reaching Padukottai had I seen this humble vehicle in that light. The bicycle as a metaphor for freedom. Bicycle ಇರುವುದರಿಂದ ನಮಗೆ ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್ ಇದೆ. We are experiencing that independence because of owning a bicycle. Every woman that has a bicycle experiences freedom in her life. It is difficult for people to see how big this is for rural women, said Kannamal. It's a Himalayan achievement, like flying an aeroplane for them. People may laugh, only the women know how important it is. So, Again, Fatima is continuing to say that it is difficult to people to see how big this is for rural women. ಅಂದರೆ ಪೀಪಲು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳಲ್ಲ ಈ ಬೈಸಿಕಲ್ ಇರೋದು ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಪ್ರಾಮುಖ್ಯ ಈ ಹಳ್ಳಿ ವಿಮೆನ್ಗಳಿಗೆ ಅಂತ, ಮಹಿಳೆಯರಿಗೆ ಅಂತ. ಸೆಡ್ ಕಣ್ಣಮಲ್, ಕಣ್ಣಮಲ್ ಅದು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಕಣ್ಣಮಲ್, ಹೂ ಇಸ್ ಕಣ್ಣಮಲ್? ಶಿ ಈಸ್ ದ coordinator of the movement. It's a Himalayan achievement, like flying an aeroplane for them. Okay, having a bicycle is like having aeroplane for women. ವಿಮಾನ ಇದ್ದಂತೆ ಒಂದು ಬೈಸಿಕಲ್ ಇರೋದು. People may laugh, only the women know how important it is. Men will look at you and laugh at you, but only the women know the importance of owning a bicycle. Postscript. When I returned to Padukota in April 1995, the craze was still on. But a large number of women were unable to afford bicycles. Each now costs around rupees 1,400. And a new generation was coming up that was too young to gain from the first round. But Padukottai remains unique among Indian districts for the stunning proportion of women who have taken to cycling and the enthusiasm for gaining the skill among the rest. So when I returned to Padukottai in April 1995, the author is saying the craze was still on. Even in 1995 when he came, the craze for bicycle was still going on. ಅದು ಉಚಿತನ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ಲ ಬೈಸಿಕಲ್ಗೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂತ ಲೇಖಕರು ಬರೀತಾರೆ. ಬಟ್ ಲಾರ್ಜ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ವುಮೆನ್ ವೇರ್ ಅನೇಬಲ್ ಟು ಅಫೋರ್ಡ್ ಬೈಸಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ 1995 ಬೈಸಿಕಲ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿತ್ತು? 1,400. And a new generation was coming up that was too young to gain from the first round. ಅಂದರೆ one new generation is now coming up. New children are born. So they need to gain from the first round. That gain from the bicycle that learned by the previous generation. But Padukottai remains unique among Indian districts for the stunning proportion of women who have taken to ಸೈಕ್ಲಿಂಗ್. ಸ್ಟನ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರಪೋರ್ಷನ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಪ್ರಮಾಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಪ್ರಮಾಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಬೈಸಿಕಲ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡುವ ವಿಮೆನ್ ಪಡುಕೊಟ್ಟಾಯಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ತಮಿಳ್ನಾಡಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಫೇಮಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ವಿಮೆನ್ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ರೈಡಿಂಗ್ ಬೈಸಿಕಲ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದಿ ಎಂತೂಸಿಯಾಸಮ್ ಫಾರ್ ಗೇನಿಂಗ್ ದ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ ಅಮಾಂಗ್ ದ ರೆಸ್ಟ್. ಅಂದರೆ ಆ ಗ್ರಾಮದ ಮಹಿಳೆಯರಿಗೆ ಯಾವುದು ಎಂತೂಸಿಯಾಸಮ್ ಇದೆ, ಉತ್ಸಾಹ ಇದೆ, ಯಾವ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಲನ್ನು ಮಾಡೋದು? ಸೈಕ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್, ಟು ಲರ್ನ್ ಸೈಕ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್. ಸೊ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸೀನ್ how this cycling has helped women of rural village of Padukottai district in Tamil Nadu. It has helped them in many ways. Moreover, it has given them social freedom and independence. They can proudly say themselves as women and confidently go around with their daily work because of owning a bicycle. The writer, let us look something. Let us go through the biography of the writer. Palagumi Sainath is an Indian journalist and photojournalist focusing on social problems, rural affairs, poverty and aftermaths of globalization in India. ಅವರ ಈ ರೈಟಿಂಗಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಎಲ್ಲ ವಿಷಯಗಳನ್ನು ಅವರು ಫೋಕಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಈವನ್ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಲೆಸನ್ ಈ ಈಸ್ ಫೋಕಸಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಲೈಫ್ ಆಫ್ ರೂರಲ್ ವಿಮೆನ್. ಎ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಟರ್ ಟು ದ ಟೆಲಿಗ್ರಾಫ್ ಇನ್ ಕೋಲ್ಕತ್ತಾ, he also writes for the Fortline and the Daily Business Line in Chennai. This essay is taken from his book Everybody Loves a Good Drought. So this essay has been taken from his collection of books, book Everybody Loves a Good Drought. Okay, let's now again learn the meaning of the new words that we have already covered up. Neoliterates. Gram Sevikas is women social workers in village. Phenomena is a fact or an event in nature or society. Brainchild is an idea or invention of one person. Nonchalance is indifference or unmoved. We have to go into now comprehension part of this lesson. Let's now go to question number 1. What does cycling as a symbol of social mobility mean? We say that cycling is a sign of social mobility. What is the meaning of it? Cycling through the word evokes minute meaning. It is broader than it comes to society. Social mobility has two meanings literally. It moves society from one place to another, which means the transportation of people, and it also connotes the progress of society. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಮೊಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಸಮಾಜ ಮುಂದಕ್ಕೆ ನಡೆಯೋದು. ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಮೊಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಒಂದೇ ಸ್ಥಳದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರದೆ ಮುಂದೆ ನಡೆಯೋದು. ಇದು ನಮ್ಮ ಸಾಮಾಜಿಕ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿಯನ್ನು ತೋರ್ಪಡಿಸ್ತದೆ. ವೆನ್ ವಿಮೆನ್ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಗೋ ಫಾರ್ ಅ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ದೇ ಡು ನಾಟ್ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ವೆಯ್ಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಮೆನ್, ದೇ ಕುಡ್ ಗೋ ಫಾರ್ ದೆಮ್ಸೆಲ್ವ್ಸ್. ಅಂದರೆ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ನೋಡಿ, ದೇ ಆರ್ ವಿಮೆನ್ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಇನ್ ಒನ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ನೌ, ದೇ ಆರ್ ಮೂವಿಂಗ್ ಅರೌಂಡ್, they are going to the market for themselves by themselves, they are going to fetch water by themselves, they are not waiting for anybody. So you can say that because of this bicycling there is a social change and social progress. Question number 2. When Jamila Bibi says it is my right, we can go anywhere, she is, what does she mean? Asserting a right to move freely, suggesting mobility leading to liberation, expressing her indifference to dirty remarks, boasting about her cycling skills. What does she say indirectly? She says that asserting a right to move freely by saying it is my right, we can go anywhere means she can go anywhere with taking the bicycle now. Question number 3. What does bicycle represent for the rural women? So mention any one of the symbols which bicycling represent for the rural women. It is a symbol of freedom for rural women. Okay. What is common between Neoliterates and neo-cyclists? Cycling as a social movement was first popularized by the Neoliterates. These Neoliterates are the ones who become neo-cyclists. Neoliterates ನಾನು ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೇನೆ, ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ನ್ಯೂ ಆಗಿ ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್ ಮುಗಿಸಿಕೊಂಡವರು, ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡವರು. ಮತ್ತು ನ್ಯೂ ಸೈಕಲ್ ಅಂದರೆ ನ್ಯೂ ಲರ್ನರ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೈಕಲಿಸ್ಟ್. ಸೊ ದೋಸ್ ಹೂ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ gone to school and learned reading and writing are the ones who first learned cycling. Next, enforced routine and male imposed barrier refer to confining women to the kitchen, subjecting women to drudgery, status of women in a patriarchal society, lack of freedom of movement. What do you say? The meaning is status of women in a patriarchal society. Next question. How did the men react to women taking to cycling? Initially, women had to put up with vicious attacks on their character. Some of the men made filthy remarks, but later, once it got social sanction from the Ariwali organization, some menfolk became less hostile, and some of them even encouraged women to learn cycling. ಕೆಲವರು ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿ ರಿಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿದರು, ಕೆಲವು ಮೆನ್ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿ ರಿಸ್ಪಾಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದರು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ನಂಬರ್ 7. ವಾಟ್ ಡು ದ ಫ್ರೇಸಸ್ flags on the handlebar and bells ringing suggest? What do you mean by flags on the handlebar and bells ringing suggesting? The phrases flags on the handlebar and bells ringing refer to the women's cycle rally organized on International Women's Day in 1992, in which 1,500 women cyclists took Padukottai by storm. Okay, next question. Why did UNICEF sanction Muppets to Ariwali women actives? Why did they give them Muppets? The UNICEF sanctioned 50 Muppets to Ariwali women activists in appreciation of their work of initiating more than 70,000 women to display their cycling skills at the public exhibition contest in a single week in 1992. 1992 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಈ ವಿಮೆನ್, ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ವಿಮೆನ್ಸ್ ಡೇ, ಮೋರ್ ದ್ಯಾನ್ 70,000 ವಿಮೆನ್ ಟು ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇ ದೇರ್, ಅವ್ರು ಚಾನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದರು. 70,000 ವಿಮೆನ್ಸ್ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡಿದರು ತಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಲನ್ನು ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಷನ್ ಮತ್ತು ಎಕ್ಸಿಬಿಷನ್ಗೆ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೇಟ್ ಮಾಡುವುದರ ಮೂಲಕ. ವೈ ಈಸ್ ದ ಸೈಕಲ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ದ ಹಂಬಲ್ ವೆಹಿಕಲ್? So you can give that answer by your own self. You can understand it. Why do we call it as a humble vehicle? The word humble means poor. the lowest in rank. The writer calls the cycle a humble vehicle because it is the most common and ubiquitous vehicle seen even in the most remote of places, a common man's vehicle. Even a simple man can buy one bicycle, and in the villages we mostly see bicycles. Today may not be, but olden days many people used these bicycles at the start. Now we are going to comprehension part 2. What is the role of Ariwali Ayakam in liberating women? In Padukottai district, there is an organization called Ariwali Ayakam. There is Light of Knowledge movement which headed the district's vigorous literacy drive. N. Kannamal is the central coordinator of Ariwali. This literacy organization conducted literacy campaigns among rural women and created a good number of Neoliterates. Later, the Ariwali literacy activists led by N. Kannamal pioneered by cycling learning movement and thus gave cycling a social sanction. Earlier ಅದೊಂದು ಅರಿವಲಿ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆದದ್ದು ವಿಮೆನಿಗೆ ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ. ನಂತರ ಅವರು ಸ್ಲೋಲಿ ಸೈಕ್ಲಿಂಗ್ಗೆ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟರು. ಸೊ ದೇ ಸ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಷನ್ಡ್ ಸೈಕ್ಲಿಂಗ್. So cycling got social sanction. Later on at Kilakurchi village, the Ariwali activists conducted a cycling training camp for their Neoliterates as well as other women enthusiasts. A large number of those who learnt cycling come to train new learners as master trainers, and this way they helped nearly 70,000 rural women to learn cycling. Thus, by teaching them to read and write along with cycling, the Ariwali organization liberated a vast majority of the rural women in the Padukottai district. So many women became free. Because of this Ariwali movement. Next question number 2. In what different ways has the cycle empowered rural women? Or discuss how the cycling movement has empowered the rural women of Padukottai. So how did it empower them? Made them feel free. Cycling empowers women in many ways. It gives them confidence which results from being self-dependent and free to carry out their duties and responsibilities without depending on the men folk. Okay? ಅದು ಅವರಿಗೆ ಫ್ರೀ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ. ಮೆನ್ ಫೋಕಿಗೆ ಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಂತ ಇಲ್ಲ. ದೇ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಫ್ರೀ ಟು ಡೂ ದೇರ್ ವರ್ಕ್. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, women folk can fetch water from even the remotest source and cart provisions in their own. In this way, cycling emancipates women folk psychologically also, because when there is confidence, you feel that you are respected. So, sorry. Cycling also empowers women economically and politically. Cycling boosts their income. Some of the women who sell agricultural or other products within a group of villages can save a great deal of time by going to such places on their bicycles. Secondly, it gives them much more time to focus on selling their produce. Thirdly, it enlarges the area they can hope to cover. Finally, if they choose to enjoy their leisure, cycling gives them a lot of leisure also. Okay, all these are the advantages of owning a bicycle, major and minor. These women, besides performing these jobs, can also perform other daily chores. ಮನೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಸಹ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಬೇರೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಸಹ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು by owning a bicycle. Finally, to top it all, it gives them self-respect. ಎಲ್ಲ ವಿಷಯಗಳು important, yes, they are important, but what is the most important is that cycling gives women a self-respect. They can also participate in political work also. Okay, women, when they feel free, they feel confidence, they can participate in many social activities. Even politics also they can participate. So these are the questions we have gone through today. There are still more questions. Question number 3, 4, 5 and 6, and also there is comprehension part 3, which we will be covering up in the next class. Please write down some important points from the lesson and important notes too, so that during exam time you can just go through the important points which will help you to answer well.